Greetings, Patrick here, 8 Questions with, and welcome to the 500th episode of 8 Questions with. Um, yeah, can you believe it? 500. Well, we're here. We got here. Thanks to everybody, all of our guests, all of our incredible fans and friends, and people just cruising by. Thank you so much. I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun doing this, and I'm so happy to have our guest, Nikki Buatti, as our 500th on our 500th show. She is a great singer from New York City. She's what they used to call a torch singer, uh, a supper club singer, a jazz singer. Plays in elegant, really elegant clubs and bars and speakeasies. I think they have those still in New York. And I was thinking about this too. I was thinking about this. And hey, all right, Steven is here early. Um, I was thinking about this. I posted this in our Facebook group. That someone had commented that a band member had on his page, and on his social media page, he called a club where he was playing at with this band a dive bar, and one of his ex bandmates got all bent out of shape about it, saying how, well, if I was a bar owner or a new club, if you called me a dive bar, I would, I probably would never book you again. Well, speaking as someone who has booked at a dive bar, and let me tell you, that's an honor. It is an honor to be called a dive bar. A dive bar. Now, it used to be that a lot of the clubs where they got that term from, it used to be a lot of clubs, or it's actually in England, you used to have to go down the stairs underneath the building. You go underneath, like in the basement, a dive. You dive your head. So that's originally where the term came from. But over here in America, a dive bar is a comfort place. It's where you go, and it's sort of like a more seedy version of Cheers, where everybody knows you. The place might need a little bit of TLC. They might not have the best equipment. They might not have every top shelf liquor that you may have. The bathrooms might be a little bit sketchy, but everybody loves the bar. Everybody likes to go there. Marsugi's was a dive bar. I used to call it blood and guts bar. I used to, because I've seen some blood, and I saw some, I've seen some blood in there. But it wasn't there every day, but it was like, sometimes it got a little sketchy in there. But overall, it's a dive bar, and bands love that. I mean, well, not necessarily singers in Nikki's class, but like punk rock bands, college bands, those type of bands, that I worked with, pop bands, Americana bands, they love to play dive bar. Cheap beer, friendly people, because they're always there. They also tend to take care of you, which has happened to me many a times where I was totally outgunned by a couple of assholes, and the people at Marsugi's, they would just come over there and go like, well, now it was 2 against 1 or 3 against 1, and now it's like 10 against 3, because you're not going to be hitting on anybody here. It's a cool, chill place. But I just thought about that guy saying how I I didn't mean anything by it. Well, don't apologize. I think it's an honor. It's an honor. Um, so I just wanted to yes. Oh, see, look at that caveman coming in there saying, "Please dive in." That's right. Think of this channel. Think of this channel sort of like a dive bar of YouTube, right? Everybody knows everybody here. There's not going to be any trouble here. You never know who you're going to see here. As far as a guest goes, you don't know who's going to be here. And sometimes the show won't happen. Cancellations do happen, and they it happens to club owners just as much as anybody else. So yes, that's a good one, caveman, for sure. Anthony says he is now up to 2002 on his memoirs. All right. Um, who won the World Series in 2002? Um, so that's tonight's going to be our next to last show of the month. Uh, let's see. Oh, nice. I'm glad to see Elise is doing well, and I know the three. Wow, that could be just about it. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people. Um, so tonight with Nikki will be here, and then this Saturday coming up, we have our last show of the month before we head into spooky season, into October. We will be welcoming in on Saturday at 8 o'clock here. We'll be welcoming in screenwriter and director Spider Dobrowski. He will be here to talk about his brand new film, his first feature film, film debut as a director, in Down Below, and he will be bringing actress Alexis Knapp will be here, and the mighty Bailing will be here as well. So excited to talk to Bailing. I'm a big fan of hers. Um, I really am. I'm a big fan. I mean, I think, yeah, she's really underrated. Really underrated. I have discovered that. She is. I know there's pictures of her off screen, off camera, being a little bit silly. Who cares? Live her life. Live her the. Live, hope she's living her best life. But she comes in and she elevates a lot of her movies that she's in. And so I'm really excited to be able to talk to her. Um, a huge crush on Alexis. Yeah, we hope that we're gonna. Uh, we are really, really, we're really excited to have Alexis. She was supposed to be here last time, but scheduling problems happened, so we were not able to get her. And so, this time we are, and so we'll be talking with her and and Spider. I'm very excited for Spider. It's really cool. I'm really happy. He came here. He came here and we talked about Teardrop, his one of his movies that he wrote the screenplay for. That's playing on Tubi. He actually made it for Tubi, so it's still playing over there. Teardrop is actually really good. And then then he came back again and he was talking about Down Below, and it was in pre-production when we talked to him last time. And so now this time we're talking to him now the movie's out. It's out on Gravitas Ventures. You can get the copy of the movie on Gravitas Ventures, but it doesn't come out until October 1st. So we got them like 2 days before the movie drops. All right, so let me get into this October calendar a little bit because we have been working on it. October 1st, we'll see Anita Wagoner will be here. Novelist Anita Wagoner. And she has just written a new book called Dakota Hills, and she herself is getting geared up for production for one of her films called Freedom. And so she is right now, while she's putting that together, she has written and released a brand new novel, which we'll be talking with her about. Hey, there's Emotion, another guest that was a former guest that came on and hung out with us. Had a great time with that. Emotion dropped some songs, some of his originals he shared with us. And there will be music tonight. This is probably the easiest person I could get to ask if they wanted to sing or not. When I asked Nikki, he says, "Would you be comfortable singing?" Oh yeah. How do you want me? Do you want me a cappella? Do you want me with a band? I mean, I was just like, gee, this is awesome. I don't know. I don't know what we're getting. I'm not sure who we're getting. I'm not sure if she's bringing her bass player, a guitarist. I don't think it's going to be her whole club, her whole band. I've seen videos of her performing in New York City, and there's no way there's going to be a full. I would feel really horrible about that, honestly. I would have to get a hell of a lot more people on a regular basis before I could ask for something like that. That's a gift. I was talking about that with Bacon is My Pod and Jimmy and Mike. We were talking about that, about how like when Like they really don't really invite singers or comedians to do sets or songs because it's their money. That's how the performer makes their money. We've had we've had two comics on the show, and they both graced us with comedy sets. That's money. That's what they take their sets. That's how they make their money at. They go there and they perform those sets for paying people. So asking them to show us some of that and for nothing, they have to trust you and like you a lot to do that. Yeah, hello to all the chat. Say hi. Say everybody say hi to each other. Uh, this is gonna be a lot of fun, and very grateful for Nikki to come onto the show. Hey, thank you, Anthony. Hi, Betty J. Betty's lost her lights in Florida. Yeah, let's give a shout out to Florida. They're battling hard. Hurricane Helene. Um, oh man, I hope that everybody can come through that. Anthony is here. Anthony, we're gonna win tonight, right? We're definitely taking the Orioles downtown. Um, oh, the storm has passed you by. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. But you'll get your power back soon. Hi Sue, how are you? Thank you so much. I can't believe we got to 500. That's crazy. I'm looking at everybody coming in. They're going like everybody has come in so far has been a guest on the show. This is amazing. You guys have all been on the show. Everybody in the chat has been on the show. That's a small world, right? That's a small world. I don't think people realize just how many tubers I do talk to. I do like talking to YouTubers. We had fun with Anthony, Fever Dreamland Theater. The entire cinema squad came over one by one and took over the show. Cinema squad takeover. It's about that time again, too, Anthony, that I'll probably be looking for another takeover. Steven has been on the show twice. Betty has been on not only this show, but she's also jumped in on us with the Midnight Society. So that's been a lot of fun. So Anita Wagner will be here with us on next Tuesday, and then we have a scare actor, a very popular scare actor named Frankie Paracchio, he's a scare actor based in Brighton, New Jersey, and he will come in and talk to us about because it's that time of the season, so and we're getting him really early too. We had to get him in the first week. Without the first week, I don't think we get him at all, to tell you the truth. I don't think we get him at all, because of demand. I've been getting an education in haunts from Spooky Kisses. I've been getting an education from her about how these haunts work. They are so much more advanced than we even realize. I mean, it's a the days of renting out a little building and throwing some lights up and charging $5. Those days are over. They're over. You're paying almost like amusement park prices. I mean, a good scare will cost you $20-25 a piece. That's right. They can cost that high, especially ones with multiple, like an amusement park like Disney has 5 different worlds that you go visit. Well, haunts are doing that as well. You got the cornfield, you got a barn, you got a basement, you got a boat. Sometimes there's been haunts on ships. So it's very, very labor intensive. And some of these scare actors who used to just volunteer, well, they're so popular now that they actually get paid themselves by the operators of the haunt. And Frankie is a very popular scare actor, and we'll be talking to him on Wednesday. Thursday the 3rd, speaking of fellow YouTubers, we will welcome in our friend Kyle. Kyle will be here. Kyle Curtis Flett will be here. He is a fellow YouTuber, and he has an incredible story to share. the last time I tried to book Kyle, yeah, that didn't go so well. I think he was like a week out from our date, and he got really sick, real sick. And yeah, we're gonna be talking to him about that as well. But we got him back. He's back. He's kicking butt. He's feeling good, looking good, feeling fine. Uh, and he'll be here with us a week from today, and we'll be talking to him on the 8th. Super excited, super excited. Cannot think of I cannot. I'm tickled to death that we have Ron Bonk will be with us. Ron Bonk is the owner and operator of SRS Cinema. And anybody knows me knows I love fun. I love fun movies. And Ron's SRS, they put out a ton of fun movies. I mean, they really put out some really fun movies. Um, I never heard of them before until Casey turned me on to them. Okay, the doorbell has rang. You know what that means? That means it's time to bring aboard our guest. So please put your hands together, share us out. Glad you're here for the 500 show, and let's go talk to Nikki Buatti. Here we go.
Hello.
Greetings. How are you,
Greetings.
Nikki?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I was I was really entranced by one of your pictures you posted on your Instagram, and normally I would be like, really, like I was like questioning it, but you know what, for you, when I saw the little video clip you posted, I'm going like, that is so damn New York. That is exactly what I expect from a vocalist in New York City.
And I'm born and raised in Queens, New York.
Yeah. When I
Yeah.
saw the picture, I'm going like, that's so, that's so appropriate. And it was very sultry. It was when you're standing by the river in that heavy jacket and you're smoking, and I'm going like, normally you go like, oh, for a singer, but like I said, it's like it just, when I saw it, I'm going like, yeah, that's about right. That's, because that's the impression when you see people in New York City and the supper clubs and the speakeasies, and it's sophisticated.
And I'm super old school. I love all the old New York 1940s, 1950s. I love big band, swing from the 1920s. So I guess I try to dress in that style when I'm performing.
Yes.
Like right now, I'm just pretty 1940s. I don't look like this on the street, but if you see me on stage or in my pictures or music videos, this is how I like to portray myself.
Uh, very cool. I mean, we had bands like this that came over and performed in some of our clubs here in California. I'm in Michigan, but in California we had singers like that too. We had Connie Champagne and her big band. Connie Champagne was just an amazing vocalist, same style as you sing. Very cool.
Yeah, like I grew up loving Peggy Lee and just big bands like Glenn Miller and Gershwin. I love Gershwin's writings and Judy Garland when she would cover most of his songs. I love those songs.
Actually, the Gershwins are definitely in my top 5.
Oh wow, me too.
Oh yeah, when it comes down to musical theater, it's Gershwin. I mean, it's like that's immediately what I think about when people talk about musical theater. That's the first thing I think of is Gershwin. And I've been to several light operas where they've put on the musical.
Oh, I'd love to go to one of those.
Oh, it's so much.
One of my favorite songs by Judy Garland, written by Gershwin, is "But Not for Me." I love her cover.
God, yeah. What is Judy Garland? I mean, wow. She's so talented. She was so talented, but boy, she just had such a battle for her whole life. She
That's a
battled.
sad story. Yeah.
It is a sad story. It is, because she just, she was so talented. She should have been she still should have been singing well into her 80s, but it was a
Yeah.
rough time.
And she
Um,
died in her 40s, you know. I
I
think
think
she was about 47.
didn't she drink herself? I mean, she died of a drinking overdose.
I think so. I mean, they grew her up. They raised her in Hollywood on so many pills to wake up, to go to sleep, to behave. You know what I mean? So she just got so used to that lifestyle.
Right. Yes, that's right. I think I think you're right. I think it was sleeping pills that she overdosed on. Yeah,
Yeah.
rough schedule. Rough schedule.
That was
Um,
like most of those actresses, like Marilyn Monroe, or one of my huge inspirations since I was a little girl was Dorothy Dandridge. Do
oh,
you know that name?
oh yeah, I know her. Yeah, I
Dorothy
know.
Dandridge, such an inspiration for me. Yeah. I think my
Um,
favorite song she ever did was That's All.
she put out she definitely was a. Do you think she was a definition of a torch singer back then? I mean, you have jazz singers, you have torch singers, you have big band singers. I mean, how would you describe your style? I would think that from what I saw from the videos, I don't think you have one. You could do them all. I mean,
Yeah, I can pretty much sing the songbook. Not the songbook. The what do they call it? The telephone book. My manager says this to me all the time. Like Nikki could sing the telephone book. I forget what he says to me. I mean, a lot of people see me as a soul singer, and I absolutely love Motown and soul and 1960s big girl groups. But my biggest inspiration that a lot of people don't know is like 1940s lounge, 1940s standards.
right
I sing that to myself every day, those kind of songs. But
now.
if you look at my Instagram, it's mostly Motown and, soul. But growing up, my biggest inspiration when I was 5 years old was Etta James. And then
Right,
come 7 years old, Ray Charles, so I kind of grew
right.
up on everything.
Uh, but I mean, but you can do, like I said, you can do anything though. Now,
I can pretty much sing anything. Yeah.
can you do jazz?
Yeah, I love jazz.
Wow. Yeah.
Love jazz.
Now, do they still have speakeasies in New York City?
They have speakeasies where they're not real speakeasies, but if you walk into, say, there's some hot dog shop on St. Mark's, I forget the name, but if you go in their telephone booth and you press number one, a speakeasy opens, which is really cool. But it's not really a real speakeasy. But I'd say some of my favorite jazz clubs to go to. I love Smalls, which is on 10th and 4th.
Okay.
Smalls is
Um,
pretty cool because
we-
they keep that old school vibe, and there's no rules. Everybody just respects the music. Sometimes it feels like that fast jazz, like if you're watching Breakfast at Tiffany's, like at a party. But then when you get a really slow, meaningful performance. The whole room is silent.
mhm.
So I'd recommend Smalls if anybody's listening. I mean, there's some jazz clubs where if you get up to go use the bathroom, they're like, "Where are you going?" Or if you talk too loud, they're like, "Keep it down." And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to name a name of one of them, but there's one that's one of the oldest jazz clubs in New York City that they're just not the same vibe that they had 50, 60 years ago,
Right. We used to do that at the club I worked at called the Agenda, and what was really frustrating sometimes is that they didn't always have live music every night. So what they did though to keep people coming in, they had a pool table, and so sometimes then we'd have to go there and shut down the pool table, and to let them know that hey, like pay attention to what we got here, because a lot of times it was just a soul or a jazz or a 40s torch, um and you don't want to compete with the pool table, so you have to take off all the balls and put them behind the bar, and
Just so
then
people would pay attention. Yeah.
right, and then people got and the cool thing about it is, and I'm sure you've seen this, um the club didn't police anybody, like we didn't have to go and tell anybody to be quiet. The club, the people who were there did. They
Oh,
just
the customers.
yeah, they go over there and tell you this to relax, and to, let's listen. There's plenty of time for us to talk, but right now I want to give the respect to the performer on the stage. Um, wow, that's so it's how many clubs? I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but how many clubs do you sing on a monthly basis? Because it seems like you're really in demand. And so, do you perform at one club? Like, do you do a what do they call it? A residency? Do you do
I
residencies?
do. I've been asked to play a bunch of clubs or venues. I get messaged a lot, and I normally ignore them because my heart belongs to the bitter end, and I don't have to only play at the bitter end. I only want to. That's home for me right now. And I mean, outside of New York, I'll play anywhere. But so far, my heart belongs to the bitter end, and it's such a legendary venue. I mean, some of my biggest inspirations graced that stage. So for me to be there is such an honor. But I actually had to take a break from performing for a little while. I haven't performed for about a year, but I'll be back at the bitter end this winter, actually. I don't have a set date right now, but sometime in November or December, I'll be back there.
I'm sure. I'm sure. How did that work out? Do they call you like once a month, or send you roses saying, "When are you coming back? When are you ready?" Uh, uh,
Paul, the owner, he tells me that he would love if I would perform weekly, but we
yeah,
we really only play about once a month, once every 2 months, because my band, we're a 9 piece, and
yeah.
half of them perform. They tour so much, and they play with such big names, and I don't even know how they're mine. They're so legendary, all of them. So it's hard to get us all together. So we only play about like once or, once a month, once every two
Once a month,
months.
right, right. That's but you do sing solo though sometimes then, right?
Oh, if I go to like my band leader slash drummer, Ethan Eubanks, he plays in a lot of bands, and sometimes I'll just show up to one of his gigs and he'll call me up and I'll sing a song. So it's
Nice,
kind of just like I'll just randomly jump up here and there
right.
sporadically throughout the city, but I don't do any solo gigs because I play live. I don't have any backtracks behind me. So, I mean, I have a horn section, I have background singers, guitar, bass, drums, piano, but they're legendary. Like my trumpet player and one of my best friends is Mac Golhan. He's played with everybody. I almost lost my mind when he told me stories about playing with Ray Charles. He played with Miles Davis, James Brown. He played with Peggy Lee. He played with everybody. He's also on. He's the lead trumpet player on like a lot of David Bowie's albums, like Let's Dance. That's Matt Golhan playing the trumpet. He's on Love Shack. He's on everything.
So that really tells you if you ever have any. Do you ever have self doubts as a singer?
Oh yeah, I'm a perfectionist, which is it's terrible and it's also the best thing in the world because I'm always striving to be better than my best self. So I'm always growing as a performer. So I have
Mm,
self doubts where, I mean, I'm not trained like Judy Garland. She wasn't trained. She never took a vocal lesson. But since I was a little girl, I've just been singing and I can hear if I'm under the note, if I'm sharp. And there's times where I don't want to post a video of me singing because I'm slightly under one note, which most people won't hear, but it kills me. You know what I mean? So
right,
I'm really
right.
hard on myself, but I don't think I'd be as good as I am if I wasn't.
Well, just I was thinking, when you have someone like Matt there in your corner, it's like when
Oh,
you have
Mac.
self doubts. Yeah, when you have self doubts, you just realize that he's sitting there next to you, and
Yeah.
I think it's a good, it's like, how can I have self doubts when I have someone like that sitting next to me? Because he'd let me know. He would let me
It's
know. He wouldn't.
true.
He's here because of your voice.
I
And
mean,
so,
I actually asked some of my bandmates, and I don't consider it my band, even though it is. It's Nikki Buatti. We secretly call ourselves Nikki B and the Hooligans, but nobody knows about that. But I took everybody out for Christmas dinner. This was like Christmas 2022, and we were sitting around the table, and I asked some of them. I was like, "Why are you all with me? Like I pay you chum change." And my background singer Jenny, Jenny Douglas, she's legendary. She was with Tina Turner for most of Tina Turner's career. She said to me, she's like, I joined the band because I loved your voice and I loved the music. And I was like, but why were you still here? And she's like, I stayed because I fell in love with you as a person. And then everybody in the band were just saying like, me too, me too. And it was just really nice to hear. But
Yeah.
Jenny, she's legendary. That's Mama Bear. I love Jenny.
I mean,
Um,
that's really how that's how it is with a band, though. A true
yeah,
organic band. A lot of times, a true organic band, they're not there for the money. They're there for the friendship. They're there for the chance to make music together. For the for your band, you know I'm sure they're there. Like you said, they're there for you. They're there to support you and
and for the music, it's
yeah,
good music. Yeah.
it's got to make them feel good too, that they don't have to be maybe play some songs they normally play over and over and over. Playing with you, they get a chance to stretch out their musical wings a little bit.
Get a
uh,
taste of the old school, that most people don't do these days. Because even
right.
my originals, they're very influenced from back in the day. Like one of my songs, I mean, my music's not out yet. We're going to be releasing our first song and music video October 25th, actually. Nobody knows about that yet. I haven't posted about that.
Okay.
But there's a song, one of my favorite originals that I wrote is called Hole in My Heart. And it's very disco throwback. It's very Motown. It's very old school, and it's just nice to, I don't know, play some of the old school good music that you don't hear these days. And I'm trying to bring that back with my originals and with some of the covers that we do as well.
Well, I mean, you play. How many venues do you generally play? You say you play at the Bitter End. That's your
Yeah.
home. That's your home venue. How many other venues do you play in New York City? And how do you? I mean, New York is so big, so I don't see a problem if you play
It's
the
a
Bitter
million
End.
venues.
You play the Bitter End this Saturday, and can you go play another club the next following Saturday? They don't have a problem with you don't have a problem playing two clubs within a week's time difference.
Oh no, I'd sing every day if I could. It's just hard getting the band together.
Right.
Um, but my saxophone player, Jay Rodriguez, he's ridiculously legendary. He was with Prince for 20 years, and he also was with James Brown, Miles Davis. He's played with everybody. He played with, one of my biggest inspirations is Irma Thomas. I don't know if you know Irma Thomas from New Orleans.
I've heard the
She
I've heard
was,
the name.
she was pretty big in the 60s. Anyone who knows what love is will understand. That's her. He played with her back in the day, and he told me that when he hears me sing that I remind him of Irma, and I was like, but Jay, he said that there's a lot of venues like City Winery and places like that he could get us into. So I told him, you know what, let's do it. Let's play some other venues as well as the Bitter End soon.
Okay.
So 2025 will be branching out more.
I just know when I booked in San Jose, California, a lot of clubs had a bubble, like you couldn't play, and they had it in the contract, with the
Yeah.
band, you can't play within 60 miles of a competing venue. And so, San Jose is like, Palo Alto, we were like 40 miles away. So we lost a lot of bands. They couldn't play us. And we're too close to do two shows back to back a lot of the times. So we lost that, but some clubs were really cool about it. Bottom of the Hill, we could have the band one day, and then 3 or 4 days they would play Bottom of the Hill. And the talent buyer over there, Ramona, she didn't care. She was like,
Yeah.
no, go ahead, because
I
she
don't think
trusted her.
that, yeah, I don't think they really do that in New York anymore. I think people would probably riot or get upset. But I mean, if the Bitter End asked me to only play there, I'd say, of course, because right now that's the only place I really want to play. But next year I'll start branching out. Paul, the
Sure.
owner, said to me once, he was like, I just want you to play here, but I won't do that to you. And I was like, Paul, I only play here. So,
Well,
by choice right now.
mean, it's like it's great to do that,
Yeah.
and having a resonant club is really critical for a band like yours. it's really a good thing. And there's a lot of bands that have a home venue, but it's like I only want you to play here. But then again, at the same time, it's like, okay, so you're gonna increase our pay, and
Yeah.
I mean, but you don't want to talk like that, because you don't want to, because you want to be able to explore. You want to bring your sound, because a lot of times New York is on an island, but it's a big city,
Yeah.
and there's
Yeah,
a
it
lot
is.
of clubs to play, and a lot
There's
of
too
people
many clubs.
like a lot of people in Queens, where they go to Manhattan to listen to a band. I don't know. Maybe they might stay in Queens and hear what they got there. New York has so much talent, musical talent. It's ridiculous.
It's true. Yeah.
It's,
I'm
it's
friends.
ridiculous.
A lot of the other bands and musicians that play at the bitter end, I love our little community because it's so rare to find people that are so supportive and it's not jealous or vicious like all the girls. We call ourselves the bitter end babes, the bitter babes. We're also supportive of each other, and I love that because I've been in situations where there's been a lot of jealousy or a lot of comparing yourself to each other, and I don't think that's needed. That's why I love the bitter end. Everybody, we're all friends, we all love each other, we're at each other's shows supporting. You don't find that everywhere.
No, no, it's a little different time. I the only really big club I know. I mean, I know New York's reputation for having the best jazz clubs in the world. There's so many jazz players that come out of there. I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of beautiful supper clubs you play in, and um, I mean, New York is its own separate animal when it comes down to music. It's like you'll see things there that you won't see anyplace else. But it
Yeah.
also has punk rock too, like CBGB's was existed for decades,
CGs,
and
I remember.
it broke so many bands. And look at bands that play New Jersey and Philadelphia, bands like Bon Jovi, Bruce Springsteen. They broke in New York. They didn't break in Philadelphia or New Jersey. They broke in New York,
Yeah.
and got well known.
I know a
So
few people that got their start at the bitter end, even in the 60s. They got discovered there. Lady Gaga got discovered at the bitter end. It's just wild. You know,
I'm going to go to the chat real quick. I want to welcome in everybody who's here watching us talk.
I
Cassie
know
is
my
here.
sister's out there. Hi, Allie.
Our friend Anthony is here. He is from New York.
Oh,
Anthony,
cool.
Fever Dreamland Theater. He's from New York. So I'm sure by the time this ends, he'll now he knows that you're playing at the bitter end. I'm sure him and his wife will have a date night and go out there and watch you play.
Oh, I love that.
Um, yeah, me too. And there's your sister. What's her first name?
Allie.
Okay, Allie is here. Allie,
Yeah.
Arcala. Yep.
Yeah,
She says, "Oh,
Arakawa. Yeah.
uh, and our friend Steve from Desert Adventures in Arizona. He's here with his dog Lucas Boy. All
And I
right.
think my manager, TJ, might be here too.
Okay. All right. And your sister says that you look gorgeous.
Oh,
Yes.
good. Thank you. I had
Yes.
trouble zipping my dress. It's still not fully zipped because I'm alone right now. So
Uh, that's pretty.
you can't tell. You're only seeing my front. So
So you said that Lady Gaga broke in New York too. So I mean,
yeah,
it's just a gorgeous town. It's just a
it really
gorgeous.
is. I love being in New York. I love being from New York. I love New York.
So let's
There's this romance about it.
right.
Yeah.
So let's go back. Let's go back a little bit to when you first got started, because every good artist always has a good origin story. Um, let's talk about yours. I guess the first question I'll ask you was, were your parents also singers as well? I mean, did they both sing in the house or out?
My dad grew up in bands drumming and playing keyboard, So when I was born, I basically was born performing. My mother was an artist, but she created art with her hands, painting. So my mother grew up, me and my sister, creating a lot of art. It was a very artsy, supportive house. My dad, since I was 2 years old, he had me drumming. And then I turned about 3 years old and they couldn't shut me up. I was just singing all the time. So I started singing at 3 years old. I started acting at about 4 years old. So the only thing I'm actually trained in is acting, but I don't really do acting anymore. I just use it for my music videos.
Right,
But
right.
singing, why I got into the music I got into is because my dad was always playing Motown and, 60s doo-wop also. Why I got into that like 1940s standard situation is because my mother always played a lot of old movies. I love movies. I'm such a movie buff. So she would play, Judy Garland movies and Marilyn Monroe movies, and that music really spoke to me. So growing up, I was obsessed with, I remember going into a Starbucks. I must have been like 9 years old, and I saw a Peggy Lee CD for sale, and I made my mom buy it for me. So I just grew up loving that kind of genre, and I've been singing before I could fully speak. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
all I know. It's my first love, music. So
Yeah.
that's how I got into that.
Now, did you sing in high school, or did you sing in any bands or choirs or anything like that?
I
Why?
actually grew up playing drums in school. So junior high school, I was in band class playing drums. I
Oh my
sang
God.
every day to myself. I sang a cappella since I was a little girl. I actually only had my first microphone. I got my first microphone summer of 2022.
Oh
So
wow.
and I'm
Wow.
39 now. I was 37. So I've been
I'm,
singing a cappella my whole life. I mean, even growing up on the Sister Act movies, Sister Act #2 with Lauryn Hill. I love Lauryn Hill. Such an inspiration growing up. I was belting those songs after school every day. So if you were really close with me, you knew I sang. But if you weren't, you just saw me as a drummer and an actor growing up. But I've been singing longer than anything. And there hasn't been a day in my life where I have not woken up and sang a song to myself. Even today, I sang some Aaron Neville, I sang some Billie Holiday. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Our Steve's mentioning, I just found Nikki's Instagram. What a fabulous voice. Yeah, I
Thank
discovered
you.
you through. I discovered, I was, I cruise Instagram. I'm always cruising Instagram
That's
for it.
how you found me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, that's how I found
Yeah.
you. I saw you and I hit the button here and I'm going like, oh yeah, that's somebody we need to talk to. Because I love the voice. I love the voice, and I saw the clip I saw which you're at the bitter end with your band arrayed behind you, and that
Yeah.
40s look and sound. It's just like, oh yeah, I gotta talk to her because I
Oh,
love that.
were we doing Peggy Lee? Why don't you do right? Is
It
that the
might
one
have
you
been.
heard?
It might have
I
been.
love that song. I love Peggy Lee. Yeah.
Absolutely. There was a band that did 40s that I know it was called Royal Crown Review, and they would dress up in all these zoot suits, and they
That's
would
cool.
play all these standards, but they dress exactly. They're dressed and they look perfect. Um, they're amazing. They were an amazing band too. They put out several original records, but they had that same look. The real dapper, real dashing, and horn section, and just a
Love their
fantastic,
home section.
yeah,
I want
fantastic.
to play with a 20-piece band. That's my dream.
Oh,
So someday.
well, I don't see why not. I don't, I
It'll
don't, I don't
happen.
see why.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, okay. Let me ask you this. I'm going to move up a little bit here. Okay, so you got this powerful voice. Um, has anybody from Broadway come over and tapped on you and said, "Hey, have you thought about doing musicals? Have you thought about getting into musicals on Broadway?"
No, but I grew up doing a lot of plays, so I mean I wouldn't be against it. I would love it. I love Broadway. My mother grew us up going to Broadway, so I grew up singing a lot of Broadway songs to myself, so I can sing Broadway. My range is like Judy Garland's range. I compare myself to her a lot. I have a big range, which a lot of people are surprised about because they'll hear my lower range, but then I get really high and they're like, "Where'd that come from?" I'm like, "I don't know." But I would love to do Broadway. Yeah.
What? Why? If you don't mind me asking, why have you auditioned for it? I mean, because I would think your
Oh
voice would go
no.
through, your voice would go right through the. I mean, as soon as the casting director heard your voice, that would open the door. I mean, you would be booked.
I should go audition. Maybe I will. Actually, now that
I'm
you're
really, I'm
saying
really, I'm really,
it.
I'm really shocked that you haven't, because it's like,
No, I've never auditioned.
why
I've
not?
thought about it.
That would
Um,
be a lot of fun. I mean, but if only if that's something you want to do, because
oh yeah, I would love that. Yeah, I would love that. I would
yeah,
do that.
and if your manager's listening, to this, if not live but in the replay, I'm encouraging you, speaking as a former talent buyer, to take your client and your friend here and go and audition for some of these musicals. Um,
I actually, you know what? I'm gonna hit up my friend Derek. He is an incredible vocal coach. Derek, Vocal Power, I think is what it's called. I'd have to look it up. I got sent to him in 2022 because I wasn't hitting my high notes and belting properly, and we didn't know why. So I got sent to him for a little while we were trying to figure out what was going on with my vocals, and it turned out I'm allergic to gluten and dairy, and it was causing GERD, and it was making me not sing properly. He sent me to an ear, nose, and throat doctor, and that's how we figured it out. But he's an incredible vocal coach that works with all of Broadway. So maybe I'll ask him to, to let me know when there's some auditions
oh
coming up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, because you already got the acting chops. You said you love doing acting,
Love
but
acting.
to me,
Yeah.
musical theater. It's not. I don't want to disrespect any actors. I really don't. But
Oh no.
when it comes down to musical theater, the most important thing is, can you sing, and can you
Yeah,
sing
yeah,
well?
yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not just sitting there doing the lines. You know. Because you're going to reach the back. You're going to reach the back anyway. I mean, your voice is powerful enough. You don't have to worry about that. But a lot of times, and this happened a couple of times where I've seen some musical theater, and you just sense the singer is just, he or she is just not quite there. It's just a
Okay.
little off, and maybe to the general ear they don't hear that, but to people who love the genre, when something goes off awry a little bit, they know about it. They know.
Mhm. I would
And
know if I was sitting in the crowd. I'd be like, "Yep, she's a little sharp," or "Yep, she's under the note." But I'm not going to tell anybody. I just keep it in my head
right, right.
psychotically. Yeah. But yeah, I got a lot of training. I went to Marymount Manhattan College for acting, so I studied there for college. But I've been acting since I was a little girl. I went to this really big performing arts camp for a few years called USDAN in Long Island. I know Mariah Carey went there. She still donates actually to that camp all the time, which is really cool of her. So I got
Yeah,
some training there. But just falling in love with movies, I basically trained myself with acting. I would secretly go in my basement and reenact scenes from a movie I just saw to myself, playing both characters off of each other. I don't know why, but I just loved it so much. I would do little weird things like that.
that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm now. You said you're a big cinephile, and now, what was your favorite type of movie to watch? Was it the old-fashioned musicals?
Oh, no. What would be my favorite? Like, I'm a sucker for Some Like It Hot with Marilyn
Okay,
Monroe. I love
right.
that movie. That's like my feel better movie. Or Sabrina with Audrey
Yeah,
Hepburn. I like
yeah,
those old, sad, romantic movies where where it works out in the end, you know?
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Sabrina myself.
Love Sabrina. I even like the remake with Harrison Ford. I love Harrison
I
Ford.
have not seen that. I saw.
The 90s one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I just love Audrey so much, and I listen to her. I watch
Love
her.
Audrey.
Yeah. I loved her, I loved her in Breakfast at Tiffany's and
I love
Charade.
the
Yeah,
Tiffany's.
she's amazing. Well, though I don't think she was a singer though. I
No,
don't
she
think she was.
wasn't.
No.
There was one movie where they had her sing, but then I think they dubbed over her voice with somebody else.
Yeah.
I can't remember what movie that was.
They did
Or
do that a lot in the old days. Sometimes they still do it
yeah,
today too. But back in the
yeah.
old days when there wasn't a singer, they would have dubbed somebody's voice over it. Yeah.
There
But
was a
sometimes,
movie my mom showed me when I was a little girl with Veronica Lake. So I Married a Witch.
yes, yes, I have that.
Yeah,
I have that on Criterion.
that's a great movie.
It is a great,
Um,
and
there's what's
another sad ending too.
Yeah. What's really funny is my album, I'm actually calling it Miss Lonely Heart, which is a character from a movie in the 50s that Hitchcock directed. You know, Rear Window? Miss Lonely Heart. I'm naming my album basically after her, after that character, because my album, a lot of the songs are about breaking up or losing somebody close to you, losing a love. And her character in Rearview Mirror, I love the style of it. We actually styled my album cover after her as well, because she would set up a dinner for like a fancy dinner for two, but she'd be eating alone. And the main actor would be like, "What is she, a divorcee? Is she a widower?" So he named her Miss Lonely Heart. So that's why I'm naming my album Miss Lonely Heart.
Let's talk about the record. And this is going to be your first release of original music. Um,
Yeah.
did you write any of the songs yourself?
Yeah, I write all of the lyrics and vocal melody, and then my engineer with my band members, they come up with the instrumentals, and they produce kind of the music behind it. I'm weird. The way I write is I sing a cappella into my voice memos in my phone. So I'll show up to the studio with an a cappella song exactly how you'd hear the vocals on the album, but there's no instrumentals behind it. But I hear it in my head and I know the vibe that I want, so that's how I sing it. But yeah, I write my own lyrics and vocal melody. And then I'm
I
actually playing djembe, this African hand drum, on all of my songs as well.
Okay. I had to see what that looks like. I'm not aware of the instrument. Um,
Oh,
I
it's like a bongo. Like a bongo is straight down, but the djembe is like an hourglass.
okay. Well, I love acapella. I could listen to acapella. I like pentatonics. Like Pentatonics, I think they're named Pentatonics. They're
Oh, I'm not sure.
beautiful. There's Man, there's been so many great acapella. George Michael's really he was fantastic for acapella when he just used his voice, just fantastic. There's so many great ones out there that sing that way. Um, now? Do you feel you feel really comfortable in acapella? That's one because you and I were talking about to do this show, and the
Yeah.
first thing you said right away was I could do it acapella. Now I gotta
Yeah, I
be
was
honest
like,
with
I could
you.
call my piano player in, or I could do a cappella. Yeah, whichever.
I have to admit, I've had a few bands on here, a few vocalists on here. One guy, but he plays solo and as a three piece. But he has a guitar. He has a guitar, but he can sing by himself as well. But a cappella without any instrument at all, I haven't had anybody just rightfully put their hand up and say that's no problem for me. My voice is
Oh.
my voice is my instrument. Um,
Yeah, this is my instrument, exactly. And I know my instrument better than anybody. I know what I'm capable of. I can control it. It's my instrument. I can't play the piano or the guitar. I'm terrible. Even on Rock Band, I'm like, it's just pressing buttons and I'm like, I can't do this. But
no,
drumming, singing, yeah. But I think it comes easy to me because that's how I learned how to sing. Being inspired by singers my whole life, even Bonnie Raitt. I Can't Make You Love Me. What, like, it's such a sad, beautiful, hopeful song. It's so depressing, but I'd hear a song and then I would just sing it myself, but I'd sing it in the style of how I sing. I've never copied anybody. Even if I was singing Ray Charles, You Don't Know Me. That's probably my favorite song ever made. I don't sing it like Ray Charles. I sing it how I sing it. I mean, there's Ray
Right.
Charles behind it, but it's still my key that's best for me, and it's a cappella, and that's just
I,
how I.
I don't mind covers. Like in a set like that, I don't mind someone covering another artist. I mean,
Yeah,
when it's done with the right heart, like as a tribute,
yeah.
not because you have cover bands that get out there and and to me, some now they call them tribute bands, and it's like to me,
Hmm.
that's just to me, it just seems to be like a cash grab.
Yeah, I know. I have a few friends that do tribute bands. Yeah,
It's like I could understand doing it for a couple of songs, at the end of a set, right, for the encore, but just to go up there and walk up there and like, okay, play top 40 music for the next 2 hours. I I just you're super talented, and to me it also what it also sort of sucks too is that you tell people to come out and see original music. You come out here and watch me. I'm doing original songs.
yeah.
It's hard as hell to get people to come out there and do that. But
That's why
if you go,
I like our show because we mix in some of my originals plus a few covers, but it's all like the same genre. Like we'll cover what's the song? Cry to Me. It's actually on my Instagram. It's probably one of my pinned videos at the top. Cry to Me is such a beautiful song from, I think it's from the 50s. I first heard it when I was a little girl in Dirty Dancing. And I was like, what is that? And I had to sing it. And it was one of the first songs I brought up to my band leader. I was like, we need to cover this song. Nobody sings this song, nobody covers it. I feel like most people forget about it. So that's in our list of what we perform. And then we like to do some crowd pleasers. Like everybody loves the Ronettes, Be My Baby. And it sounds great with my background singers. So we do that a lot. And you get the whole crowd singing along with you with that one.
sure, sure. As long as they're there to support you with originals too.
Oh
That's
yeah.
that's a sign of respect to a vocalist. Like this is one of our original songs, and and hopefully the crowd will sit there and support it and cheer it on. It's like this is great because it's
Yeah.
just too many. I don't know. It just seems like there's at least out here in the Midwest, there just seems to be too many of those tribute bands. It's like you're out there, you're making money, sure, you're touring, sure, but you're doing it on somebody else's shoulders. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's like I love the fact that when bands come out there and they crank out some original music. I can't wait for your record to come out. I'm very happy to hear that.
I'll send it to you as
That's
soon as
very
I'm releasing songs. I'll send you a few songs regardless. You just can't share them with anybody. But
no.
like with Hole in My Heart, one of the last shows we had a year ago, we did that first because my band starts playing, I walk up on stage and we started doing Hole in My Heart. And after we finished, I had mentioned that it was an original that I wrote, and the whole crowd kind of like gasped because it's just such a good song, and I'm so proud of it. What's really funny is I wrote a song called Look Who's Begging Now. Long story short of why. But I remember when I called in Jay, my saxophone player, he's also a flutist and clarinet player. He came in to play on a few songs, and he's coming out of the recording room, and he started talking some of the song, and he repeated one of the verses. He said, "We used to go out every day, ooh," and he was like, "I can't put my finger on it. Who originally did this song?" He was where did this come from? And I was like, I did this song. I wrote this because I wrote it as a 1960s girl group throwback. That's actually going to be our next music video we're about to shoot in a couple of months, which I'm really excited about this one. So it was just such an honor to have him go like, where did this come from? Like, who are you covering this by? And I was like, no, it's an original. And it was really nice to hear that. And I write fast. I wrote that song in probably like 15 minutes.
Wow.
So, and I write so fast, I think so fast that I think to myself, like, this isn't any good and I don't want to show it to anybody. One of my favorite originals, Not Know You, that you will find on my Instagram. it would be, you'd see the headline, me write, original, hashtag not know you. That was probably one of the last songs I showed my engineer because I didn't think it was any good, but it's become one of my favorite songs now. So
Okay.
you're right. I do judge myself. I think like that was too easy to write. Like it can't be good. I feel like a 5-year-old wrote it, so, but that's
You
not
know
the
what?
case.
Pop songs. I mean, you know what? I mean, if you're in there and you're doing it for pop. I mean, you could. I mean, hell, you could do jazz as a pop song. I mean, there's
Yeah.
you look at Jay Monet and Michael Bublé,
Yeah.
Harry Connick Jr. I mean, they've been doing that, and I'm sure many others. They've been doing that for years. Doing doing standards or jazz, and they've been doing it as pop, as under 4 minutes. And there's plenty of times people have done that. That's cool as hell. I
And
think that's cool as
standards,
hell.
that was pop back in the 40s
Right,
and 50s, so which is funny. People don't think that way, but Billie Holiday, that was pop, you know,
right.
back in
Steve
that
mentions.
time.
He says. I think your other sister's here, right, Anna?
Oh no, that's a very close family friend, Anna. She comes to all my shows.
Okay. She says that you look gorgeous.
Thank
And
you.
Steve says, I think singing songs, so others are artist songs, and putting your own vocal personality is into it is fine. It's yeah. I'm all right with that. I personally am all right with that. I just don't want to see a whole set like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree.
I don't want to. I
I
don't want. I don't want to sit there and pay to see a tribute band.
I like to mix it up, yeah.
But someone like a
I mean,
like Hart, when Hart did that Stairway to Heaven for
okay.
Led Zeppelin about 10 years ago.
I don't think I
Oh,
ever heard that cover. I know
it's
the original. I just never heard Hart do it. I'm gonna look it
no,
up when we're done. Yeah.
well, you'll have to, it'll bring tears to your eyes.
I mean, one
It
thing.
brought tears to my eyes. It brought tears to my eyes because I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm sitting there watching this for the first time, and it's just magnificent, right? But what really got me is when they, when they, and then when you look, and I'm sitting there looking at that, and I'm going like, I know that drummer, and I'm going like, I know that that's Jason Bonham. It's Jason Bonham, and the son of John Bonham, the original drummer for Led Zeppelin, who self-destructed his life.
Mm,
And we had booked Jason before, and he was
that's cool.
he was living underneath his dad's shadow. He could not. I mean, he could not get out of from underneath it. And it was like, and you watch him play. Oh my stars, Nikki! The guy is like, he's one of the top 5 drummers I've ever seen. And we're all just standing there. We're all looking at each other, going like, why does he feel he has to stay underneath the shadow? He is head and above, way beyond that. But
That's
it's
the
all it was
downside
all
to
it
an
was,
artist. We get
yeah,
stuck in our heads.
yeah,
We judge ourselves.
he was stuck in his head.
Yeah.
And so I was really excited when I saw him come on there and play, because he looked good. He looked healthy. He looked
Yeah.
healthy. And I got tears in my eyes watching him, going like, oh, I hope to hell he's sober. I hope to hell he looked great. His drum was just fantastic. It's a fantastic video. It's
And he
beautiful.
probably got so good because he was so hard on himself.
Yes.
Because
But
he judged himself, he
he
pushed
was almost
himself.
too much. So, it's like, we're talking about Judy Garland.
Yeah.
Look what happened to Liza. Liza was
Hollywood
trying to follow
destroyed
Liza.
Judy. Yeah. And
And
Liza Minnelli. Love Liza.
I like Liza too, but
Yeah.
she was trying to follow her mom's footsteps,
I
and
even love Bette Midler. Bette Midler. But yeah, Liza. I think the issue is society and the world. They compare you. Like
Mhm.
everybody was comparing Liza to Judy.
Yeah, and it wasn't
Yeah.
fair.
Like with the drummer you just mentioned, they probably compared him to his father all the time.
Yes, they did. And
That's one thing. I never compare myself to other artists, and I feel like that's the only reason why I grow and why I continue to grow. Because to me, I actually had this poor guy come up to me, this young man came up to me after one of my shows about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And he came up to me. I met him once before through a friend. And he said, wow, after I performed, and he said, you make me not want to sing anymore because you're so good. And I looked at him and I was like, you can't say that. You can't compare yourself to me because we don't have the same vocal tone. We don't have the same timing in our vocals. We don't sing the same genre. I was like, never compare yourself to anybody. Even if you're in the same genre as somebody else, you have different quirks about your voice. You have different soul, different tone, different timing, different, different techniques. The way I sing, I didn't know this about me. My band pointed it out. They're like, your vocal timing, I don't understand it. I've never played with a singer with your vocal timing before. And then when they caught on that I was a drummer, they were like, you sing like a drummer plays. And I never thought that about myself, but everybody is unique in their own way. Like, I'll get compared to Amy Winehouse or Adele a lot. I just went to this new studio a week ago and they're like, you're like Amy Winehouse mixed with Adele, mixed with something else. Sometimes people compare me to Etta James, so it's like you get compared to people, but I don't think I sound like those singers. We're all unique in our own sense. So if anybody's listening and they compare themselves, it's only going to hinder you and hold you back. You should only compare yourself to your best self. And that's what I do. So one day I'll sing a song perfectly. The next day I'll be like, wow, I was off on 2 notes, so I'm only comparing myself to myself.
Do you videotape your performances, Nikki? I mean, at the bitter end, does the owner let you go there and set up a camera and you tape
yeah, if you want to. I've actually never recorded myself, but they work with this company called Get On Volume. So we're always live recorded at the bitter end. And if you're in Texas, if you're in California, if you're just homesick, you can actually go on the bitter end website and you can watch it for free. You don't even have to pay for it. Wow, so I'm always live streamed for free. But I get a lot of people in the crowd that record me and they'll send me the videos after. And those are mostly the videos that I have posted on my Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Your sister said that you should cover "Crazy on You." That would be a great song to cover.
Crazy on You? What's that? Who sings that?
It's a heart.
Oh, I was thinking maybe that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, Crazy on You. Let's see. Steve says I get a really good vibe from Nikki, and after watching some of her performances on Instagram, I think, wow. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, the first time I heard it, Steve, I'm going like, yeah, I have to go talk to her. That's a major league voice right there.
And I didn't see your message right away. You were in the requested messages, and I live under a rock. I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm not even on a computer right now. I have my phone set up on a tripod that I only bought a year ago. Yeah. So
that's what I do too. I have my phone on a little tripod, and then I have my monitor behind me. But you know what? I definitely would remiss if I didn't get you to sing a couple of songs for us. So, do you feel comfortable in singing a little a cappella?
Yeah, I could do that. Just I guess maybe in a handful of minutes. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Is there anything that you need from us?
What do you mean?
I mean, you feel comfortable singing? Is there anything that you have to do to warm up before you sing, or are you ready to launch?
Probably just drink a cup of water and then just sing.
Okay. All right. Let us know when you're ready.
Clear my throat a little.
Right.
I don't know any vocal warm-ups. I'm not trained in that sense. I know there's certain things that I do for fun. The way I warm up is by singing a song and then I go and sing. But other than that, I don't really know any vocal warm-ups or anything.
I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you how do you take care of your voice? I mean, like I know what I like I mentioned the clip earlier, so I know you protect your voice.
I love to drink hot tea. Like I make a lot of turmeric with ginger, lemon, honey. I love turmeric because it's anti-inflammation.
Okay.
So that's like my little secret remedy. But any vocalists that I speak to, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm drinking turmeric tea before I perform." So it's just
Right.
staying hydrated. The worst thing for my vocal cords is if I'm stressed out, it'll stress my vocal cords.
Sure.
But I mean, I don't drink or smoke weed or anything currently. But a year ago, I was taking a shot of Jack Daniels and then hopping on the stage. So I don't
Oh,
really
that'll
because
get
in
some.
my
That'll pop up your vocals right there.
I think
Uh,
Jack
uh,
Daniels is good for vocal cords. That's, I mean,
uh,
from my experience, it
right.
melts down the phlegm.
See, the only thing that always gets me as a talent buyer, I was sitting there, and it always gets me. And for the life of me, I couldn't understand it. Like like when you see people sing it, and it's like they smoke, and you're sitting there going like, why do you smoke when that's like the worst thing that you could do for your voice? You don't want to, because the nicotine and all the other crap gets in your throat and stays
Well, I've
there.
never smoked cigarettes. Yeah, I used
No,
to smoke weed, but that would
not
be after a show. Yeah.
after the show. Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's honest. Why not put it in the writer? Put it in the writer to say, afterwards, a tea service and a couple of J's.
Yeah, when you said do you film yourself on stage, there was one show that my sister couldn't make it, and it was a Christmas show, so we did some Christmas covers, and her favorite song is oh, what is it called? Baby Please Come Home, the Christmas song. You know that
Right.
one. So I'm hammered on not even Jack Daniels. My background singer Jenny, she gave me a bottle of whiskey, and I brought it on stage with me. I had a Santa hat on. I was Santa. My band is wearing deer antlers. I'm like telling the crowd, give me a second. Santa needs her juice. So I would like start drinking the bottle of whiskey. I actually FaceTimed my sister because she couldn't make it. She was stuck in Vermont. So I FaceTimed her right before that performance. And if you actually see one of the live videos on my Instagram, I'm wearing a sparkly dress and a Santa hat. I'm looking at the music stand. It's because my phone was there, and I'm like giving the middle finger to my phone at my sister, and then like I lift it up, I start showing her to the crowd. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so I mean, I'm funny when I'm drinking whiskey, but I'm not drinking right now. So, or this year, I'm not drinking this year.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's happened. I have seen. As far as drinking goes, I've seen a couple of band. That's like one of the things that a couple of shows that we worked on, including Jason Bonham, was that we had to make sure that we knew that he was going to be drinking. We knew that, and so the challenge was not to stop him from drinking, but to let him, not to stop him long enough for him to get the performance under.
Know your
So
limit.
right,
Yeah.
same
Like me,
thing.
I don't drink a lot. I'm a lightweight, so I'll have like 2 drinks at a show, and I'm drunk or I'm buzzed. So I'm never falling over drunk. I'm just like I turn into I have no filter after like 2 drinks.
Now now okay, so that happens once in a while. I mean, it'd be concerning if you did it every time. You wouldn't want that
Oh
to
no, no,
happen.
no.
No, but I
Um,
mean, once in a great while, if there's a particularly big show, but you got to be sort of careful because that's a bear trap. It's like I need a little bit to take the edge off, but you don't want to you want to have enough edge on you to be able to do
oh
the same.
yeah. So I mean, at a show, I'd have 1 drink with my band before we go on, and then I have
Yeah,
1 drink on stage.
sure.
So never sloppy, always just kind of funny, joking with the audience. Well,
Now,
that's
have you ever
what's weird
seen
with what'd you say?
have you ever seen that when you visit other clubs? Have you ever seen anybody lose control on stage because of that? Have you ever seen anybody just too sloppy to continue?
No, I've seen it in like videos on your phone. Like I never live. Like not to bring up Amy Winehouse, but when she had the drinking issue, I mean that's where my mind went right now. I've just seen like famous performers sometimes if they've gone down the wrong road, but not. I've never seen anybody live at the bitter end where they were falling over sloppy. No.
No, I can't imagine any,
Yeah.
is the Bitter End, is that also is that like also a supper club? I mean, do they serve dinner there
They
and it's
serve food. Yeah, they don't cook their own food. They have adjacent doors in the back. There's the green room that leads you outside, and the restaurant next door. They have like a deal with them where they get food from there.
wow. And so
Yeah.
then you come back and sit down and have a meal while you're watching the music. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, they do serve food, I think, till like 10 p.m. about
Yeah.
something like
That's
that.
not
Yeah.
right. Oh, that's so cool. That's elegant to me. You're sitting there at a surfer club and you're just chilling, and the music's not really too loud, and you're just, it's just a beautiful vocal over it. Man, that's just,
I
that's
just feel
how
at
I like
home
to listen.
there.
That's how I would like to listen to jazz. For me, that's what I would like to do. If I was going to listen to a jazz artist, like yourself or Jay Monet, I just like to or Mohite. I like to just sit and just relax and enjoy it. Um, how do
One
you?
thing about me is put me on a stage, I'm a different animal. I have no fear. I feel at home. It's my second home. But if I'm singing not on a stage, like even at karaoke, I get nervous.
Like, are
I
you
have to
nervous
be on
now?
a stage and I have to have a band behind me. For some reason, if I'm singing with a karaoke machine, it's like a robot to me. How do you connect with that? You know what I mean? You're following the machine. And I don't
Right,
like to do that. I like to feed off of the band. We're all
right.
feeding off of each other. But I get nervous if I'm not on a stage. But
Are
if I'm
you
on a stage, I'm a different person.
are you nervous now, knowing that you're going to be doing a cappella?
I don't know. I'll probably get nervous during it, but you won't know.
Okay,
It's one thing that I love about my acting training is that I can easily hide that.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have you do. We'll have you do a couple of songs. For us, because I did mention that you would be doing it, dropping a couple. And what's the name of what are both these songs going to become from your new record, right? This will be
Oh, I was thinking about doing a Billie Holiday song that was, it's not really her song. It was written in the 40s, but it was mostly made famous by Billie Holiday, but it's not one of her known songs. It's called Crazy He Calls Me. Do you know that?
no,
A
no.
lot of people don't know this song.
Let's hope that YouTube doesn't, so we don't get any, so we don't get a strike. I'm
Oh
not
no,
too old.
I don't think you'll get a strike because it would fall under original music since I'm singing it a cappella.
All right, right. Thank
But
God for acapella.
there's a lot of people that I know that I've mentioned this song and they're like, I've never heard that song. And I'm always shocked by it. I don't remember when I first heard it, but I love this song. It's called Crazy He Calls Me. And why I like it is because love is, it's so beautiful and it's so rare to have that courage to express your love for somebody. But in this day and age, you get called crazy for it.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Yeah, it is the truth. So that's why like I mentioned Dorothy Dandridge, the cover that she sings "That's All." I feel like that's how love is. I'm giving your heart in exchange for let's just exchange hearts. I don't need anything. It's not about gifts, and it's about love. It's about you know. So
No,
crazy he calls me.
I totally
I
do.
might be a little dry. Move you closer to me so you can hear me better. If I crack, it's because I'm dry.
So it's okay.
How's it going? I say I'll move a crazy calls me. Sure, I'm crazy, crazy in love. like the wind that moves the bough. He moves me with a smile. I'm a little nervous. The difficult I'll do right now. The impossible will take a little while. I say I'll care forever, and I mean forever. If I have to hold up the sky, crazy calls me. Sure, I'm crazy. Crazy in love am I. I was a little nervous. You can hear it in my breathing when I'm nervous. Are you there? Hello? I see a cat face. Is that your paws? Patrick, are you there? Am I just supposed to keep singing? Okay. What should I sing? Oh, you want me to sing something from the album? I didn't really want to sing anything from the album today. Something from the album. I just want to sing covers right now. Maybe Aaron Neville, Tell It Like It Is. I sang that a little bit earlier. What else is there? Are you coming back, Patrick? Or I'm just supposed to keep singing? I guess I'll keep singing. Maybe I'll sing a Judy. What'll I do when you are far away and I'm so blue? What'll I do? What'll I do when I am wondering how you feel just now? What'll I do? What'll I do with just a photograph to tell my troubles to? When I'm alone with only dreams of you that won't come true. What'll I do?
Man,
Not
that's
as nervous now.
Man,
I was
that's
really nervous for the first one. But a song on the album, I could sing a song on the album. It's just not going to sound like the song on the album, but
It's all right. We know that. We know that with acapella. We get that.
yeah. When I
But,
sang He Calls Me Crazy, the first one, you could hear it in my breathing that I was nervous.
No, you sounded perfect.
Oh no, I can hear where I was off. I could hear in my breathing.
Right.
If I sang it again, it'd be perfect. But I could probably sing Hole in My Heart or Not Know You, probably two of the best originals on my album. Then we have Look Who's Begging Now. Which do you find you want to hear?
I want to hear one of your originals. That's that.
Oh, yeah. You choose out of these three: Hole in My Heart, Not
Okay.
Know You, or Look Who's Begging.
I say Magic Smith just came in and said hello.
Hello.
Or I'm sorry, Magic. Yeah, Magic Smith. Thank you for coming in, Magic. Hole in the Heart sounds exactly right up my alley.
Okay, Hole in My Heart it is. I wrote this about a guy that I ended things with, and I just felt afterwards that I needed closure. I felt that I made a mistake, and there was a hole in my heart, and I found myself like looking around for him, and he just was nowhere to be found.
So
I'll
a good love song, right?
It's a love song about love lost, but I wrote it it's very catchy. That's the one that's very Motown disco. I mean, you
Okay.
hear that in the instrumentals, but it's a very catchy song.
Okay. I'm
I
sure we're
feel
all
like a
down for that.
5-year-old wrote it, me, but
I think we're all down for that.
okay. It's gonna be so weird. I haven't sung this a cappella since 2018 when I wrote it. Now it's
Wow.
just with the band. Okay. Hey, hey, got a hole in my heart from you, baby. Hey, hey, hey. Well, there's a hole in my heart, baby, from you, and I can't breathe anymore. 'Cause all alone I sit in my solitude, and I can't take it anymore. I cracked there. I've been searching every corner. Yes, I know that it's been over. Hear you call my name in my dreams. I look around, you're not there. Well, there's a hole in my heart, baby, from you. I can't breathe anymore. 'Cause all alone I sit in my solitude, and I can't take it anymore. I cracked again.
It's okay.
I'm the one who said it's over. Why do I still need this closure? Hear you call my name in my dreams. I look around, you're not there. And then it just continues, and that's basically the gist of that song. I
Okay.
cracked at the highest part because my throat's a little dry.
Yeah, I'm sure the room too doesn't is probably a little bit dry too as well. Not nearly not
The
now
weather the
when
weather
you
outside's pretty humid today, but I crack if I'm stressed or if I'm dehydrated.
okay. Well, I
I
definitely think
cracked twice. I went off key twice. But I
that's
can
all
hear
right
it
though.
as I'm doing it, which is good for me to know.
Hey, I don't know a single performer ever that has not have had a moment where they've had a cracked voice or missed a lyric or missed a time. It always happens to everybody. No different. And we're not we're just here to hear your voice. So
Yeah.
and that's what we're here for. That's what we want to listen to.
And that's the
Um,
gist of that song. I mean, with all the instrumentals behind it, you really get that Motown, that throwback Motown flavor. But I first wrote that song. I write the chorus first, is how I work. I wrote the chorus. I wrote it literally as fast as you hear it, is how fast I wrote it. It was 3 in the morning, 2018, in the middle of the night, and I felt like there was a hole in my heart, that I was missing this guy. And I just sang to myself, there's a hole in my heart, baby, from you, and I can't breathe anymore. And all alone, I sit in my solitude, and I can't take it anymore. But I sang it with the vocal melody behind it, and And I said to myself, this was the first song one of the first songs that I wrote personally. And I said to myself, I was like, there's something there. There's something catchy about this one. I was like, this one's good. And this one I was proud to bring into the studio with me. All the other ones, I was like, is this good? I was like, are these ones okay? But that one, I knew there was something there.
Now, how many songs are going to be on the record, Nikki?
I have 14 songs that I've recorded. I think only 8 or 9 of them are originals. We're doing a few covers as well.
Sure.
But I have a million voice memos of original songs that I've written that nobody has ever heard. So there will be, I'm going to be releasing it like a single each month. And then eventually I'm just going to put them all out like after the first few singles.
Right. That makes sense, especially in today's market.
Yeah.
Releasing a single like that, it basically, what happens to a lot of artists, they put out a whole record, and and a lot of people just, they just want the one big single. So that's what they'll do. And they'll leave the other songs behind. I think releasing it as one single a month, people will just go in on that one song every month. They'll go in, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that new single, and then and by the time you put the whole record together, I think everybody will be very happy to have it.
And I hope one of those singles blow up or goes viral, as the kids say these days.
Well, hopefully, yeah. Well, your manager will probably be doing his due diligence and making the rounds among the stations. I think, especially around college stations, they're more apt to be. I hope so. College radio used to be the place to go whenever we had a new record to break. And with your style of music, there's not a lot of that on college radio, which is what makes it more special. It's like, and so hopefully that your manager will be able to take that up there, because there's a ton of colleges up in the Northeast. There's so many colleges that you could ship your record to and say, hey, can you play? Yeah.
And the way I feel about my music is it will always stay in style. You get little genres, like right now, trap rap is really big. Sorry for any trap rappers out there. I just don't understand it. Sorry.
Is that the ones that they sing into a background track?
Yeah, and it just sounds like they're all copying each other. It's the same 2 keys or notes. It all sounds the same to me. It's the same flow, the same mapped out vocal. There's nothing impressive about the vocal to me. I mean, and I love rap. I love rap from the 90s. I love Snoop Dogg. I want to hang out with Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? I do. But I just don't understand the trap rap today. And I know a lot of artists that left genres that they were incredible in for trap rap. And they only did it because they're like, oh, it's the new fad or phase, and I want to join in on it. But no, stick to what you're good at.
I think some of those rappers like Post Malone or Jelly Roll, where they start, basically they just got nobody took them seriously. No one, here's Post Malone.
And Jelly Roll has a good voice. He's very soulful.
Yeah, but they looked at him and they said, that we're not taking you seriously. The records weren't moving, so they turned around and said, well, we're going to reinvent you, repackage you as a country artist. And
so that's why he's singing. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned about my manager. I also have a publicist, Sandy Hahn, who's incredible. She's worked with so many people. She's why the Shark Tank blew up. So I'm in good hands with her as well.
Good. Yeah, it's all important. You have to have a good team to.
That's what it's all about. And I'm very fortunate to have the band members that I have, who I can call family as well.
Yeah, shout out to your band. Now when you play, does your band have a name? Is it Nikki Ann, the band's name, or is it just your name?
Well, it's Nikki Buatti. It's my name, but we secretly call ourselves our band leader Ethan. He gives us sheet music, and like our group chat on our phones through our text. We call ourselves Nikki B and the Hooligans, because we're just a bunch of hooligans, But it's really the project is called Nikki Buatti. But even
Uh,
my piano player, Andy Burton, he is the best piano player, I think, in the world. He tours a lot with very, very big musicians. He's always on tour with Cyndi Lauper. He's always on tour. I have to get covers for him sometimes, and it kills me. But I do have Andrew Sherman, who's an incredible piano player, covers for him for me. But Andy Burton, best piano player I've ever played with. I'm always blown away by him. His piano is just so, his fingertips are so soulful. They're so sad. It's just so, it really touches my soul to hear him play.
mm. Does anybody in the chat have any questions for our guest? We'll take some questions if you have any, before we let her go. So we'll give them a time. Now I turn that around and ask them some questions. I'm sure we'll get a couple.
I can see them. Okay.
Yeah. So I like how you got yourself in position. New record comes out October. You'll start playing a little bit out.
Yeah.
You get now. Are you gonna just break in real easy? Maybe play at a smaller venue to get because you said you haven't played live in a year.
Oh no. I've been singing for so long. I have to have my first time back at the bitter end. Yeah, my home base.
Okay. I know some artists, they'll go to, before they go back to their stomping grounds, they'll go to a small place and
to get their feet wet. My band leader Ethan Eubanks, he said, "Why don't we get your feet wet? We'll just do like a couple of jazz songs just to get you used to it. But just stick me on the bitter end stage with my family behind me, and it'll feel at home."
How big is the bitter end? How many people can it hold?
Maybe like 218. I don't really know. It could be 175. I know the first night we played there, we sold the place out. Every seat was filled. The bar was filled. The standing area next to the bar was filled. There's been nights where it's been crickets, like we played once the week of Labor Day weekend, and it wasn't crickets, but we didn't sell out the place. I know when we played that Christmas show, we sold out the place. And what's funny is during the holidays, you'll get a lot of tourists. And I made friends with these 3 girls from Ireland that I'm still friends with because they saw my flyer and they were like, "This looks like fun. Let's go to this show." And they showed up and we became fast friends, and they were so inspired by me and my performance. And I still keep in touch with them.
And you put out flyers?
Yeah, well, I make a flyer and I post it to my social media, but the bitter end actually puts it on their website. So you can go through and see what kind of music, or you just see the flyer and be like, "That looks cool. I want to go to that show." So the bitter end promotes on their website for you as well.
I'm just still going like, man, who people are still putting out flyers. Of course they are in New York City. Of course, that's amazing. I love it. That's that's how I work. That's how I used to promote my bands. I used to go out there and pass out flyers to everybody.
I'm old school. I can't handle the new world. I'm like, what? Yeah.
Let's see. Allie asks, when will you do a country song? Maybe Linda Martell style, maybe.
I want to do some Bonnie Raitt. Keep it some country blues. I don't know. When will I do a country style? Oh, I know somebody that just wrote a country song and it's incredible. And I asked if I could cover it. But they said that maybe it'll be what is it called? Like when you have a secret surprise track on your album.
Right.
It might be that on my album.
Hidden track.
Yeah, the hidden track, the surprise added track that you didn't know you always needed, but here you go. Yeah.
And thank you so much, Steve, for dropping Nikki's information. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We will be having Nikki come back. In fact, I can tell you right now, I'll probably turn around and have you come back in November.
I would love that. And it would be after I release my first song. And the first song we're releasing will be a cover that a lot of people don't know this song. And when I perform it, everybody thinks it's mine. They come up to me and they're like, wow, I really loved Retreat. I can't get over it. And people think it's mine. So we're releasing that first because it's going to confuse some people. But it was originally written by the bass player of the Dap Kings. And it
Oh,
was
wow.
originally sang by Sharon Jones, who had passed away in 2011 or 2015 about. But the way we cover it is very intense, and the music video is incredible. I shot it with Bolex Films and Modern Day Tour, and the music video, I'm basically playing a schizophrenic that blows up her ex's house in the end. And the way we got that is I built a dollhouse that we blew up. So it's really, really intense. We're gonna release it October 25th, and it's just in time for the spooky Halloween season. And I'm very proud of the cover, and I'm very proud of the music video. And not everybody thinks it's my song, so I think that's a good start. But then the next song we're releasing will be an original. It will be Not Know You, that we have a music video for as well.
Okay.
And I would love to come back whenever you'll have me. I'd be honored.
Yeah, no. I'm thinking we should just have you come back in November. I'll get a date going for you. I'll generate a date, and then have you come back, and we'll get a chance to talk more about the record and hear some songs from it.
Even if I become famous, I'll be on your show. I'd love to.
Yeah, I know
I would love
to. We're perfectly fine for that. We like talking to famous people. They're a lot of fun. Thank you again thank you for coming out so much, Nikki, and thank you to the chat, Steve and both Steve and Steven, and your sisters and your friend.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I just want to let people know that we will be back. That's right. We're not done this week. Normally Thursday we do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but this week we're doing a Saturday show. We're doing a special Saturday show at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
We are going to be having Spider Dobrowski, film director Spider Dobrowski, come in, along with Bai Ling, the mighty Bai Ling, and Alexis Knapp, and we're going to be talking about Down Below, which is a Christmas horror movie coming out.
Fun. Okay.
I can't wait. This is Spider's feature-length debut, directorial debut. So we're really, really excited to talk to him about his movie, and of course meeting Bai Ling, who's absolute legend, and Alexis Knapp is also a very strong actress, has appeared in the Pitch Perfect series, and so we will be talking to them on Saturday, 8 o'clock. Thank you so much, Nikki. Stay right there for a second. And to the chat, I'm going to say goodnight to you right here, right now, and we will see you Saturday at 8 o'clock Eastern time for Spider, Bai, and Alexis. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you. Stay right where you're at.
Oh, okay.